we all know what they mean to us.
Our dogs don't realize they're dogs, I don't think. They're very spoiled, but you know, they bring so much to us.
I remember having our first dog that got hit by a car out in front of my parents' steel fabrication shop. And we took the dog to the vet and didn't have any tags, couldn't find an owner, and so that was our first dog. Ever since then, I've loved animals.
We have 7 dogs, and all very, very loving creatures, and I don't know how we could live without them.
Big part of our lives.
But what do we mean to them?
You can be gone for 5 minutes and you come home and they act like they haven't seen you in forever.
Anybody that has a pet totally understands. It doesn't matter if you're gone for a half hour or a day or 2 days. They are so excited when you get home.
They love us unconditionally, but just as importantly, they trust us to provide hope for the vulnerable and a voice for the voiceless. Friends of the Animals is guided by one clear principle.
Our hope is to change the mindset of a generation on how we think about cats and dogs in our community. We want them to know they're not disposable. These are part of our family and they deserve to be loved.
It's a hope that will be realized with a radically new approach that'll be the first of its kind in our region.
And the way we're going to carry out that mission is to build a state-of-the-art pet education and adoption center to save more homeless dogs, cats, puppies, and kittens through a 3-pronged approach: through adoption, low-cost spay-neuter services, especially to people with low incomes and fixed incomes, and through education.
Friends of the Animals will partner with government animal control shelters, rescue groups, and humane societies in the incredible challenge of dealing with a truly staggering problem.
One cat and her offspring can have almost 60,000 kittens in 1 year, and a dog and her offspring can have 11,000 puppies.
The fate of those animals is often spoken in language designed to spare our feelings, but it's a stark reality.
You know, we do sugarcoat, we euthanize animals. Well, basically we kill them, and, because we have too many. And, within a 10-county area surrounding Lake Norman, we euthanize 36,000 approximately a year. And if you say the number fast, it doesn't sound like a lot, but that's 100 per day. So when you get up in the morning, there's 100 animals that are going to get euthanized today.
A reality people like Mark Balestra of Charlotte-Mecklenburg Animal Control has to deal with every day.
No one becomes immune to that sort of reality. To take the life of an animal is extremely painful. That's why we work so hard, and that's our motivation in finding other outcomes.
Friends of the Animals Pet Education and Adoption Center will be dedicated to providing those other outcomes.
Friends of the Animals, we will not put any healthy, adoptable animal to sleep.
All of us are drawn to those faces we see at the pet store.
You walk through the mall and you see them and you can't resist. We want to create that atmosphere in our facility.
Friends of the Animals will become the first choice for those looking for the perfect animal companion.
The biggest thing that I wanted to see in a facility is, I said it has to be friendly, inviting. Why do people go to PetSmart or Petco, or why do people want to go to the nice shopping center, whatever? Because it's clean, it's a friendly environment, and that's what we need to create to get people to want to come there and possibly adopt an animal.
It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be somewhere you want to be. These animals are going to be treated well, and they're going to go to deserving homes.
But adoption is only the beginning. Spaying and neutering is the most important thing we can do to stop the cycle and decrease the needless killing of cats and dogs.
Friends of the Animals is going to have a low-cost spay-neuter clinic. Every animal that comes into our facility will be altered so that they will not continue to add to the problem.
There are also a lot of people in the community that have the heart but may not have the finances and that's another thing that we'll be able to help with.
Spaying and neutering your animals also provides for a healthier pet. They are less aggressive, less tendencies to mark their territory, less cancers, and just more friendly, loving animals.
The most powerful weapon in the effort to save the lives of generations of unwanted animals is education, and it begins with us.
We thought that we were educated because we have 7 animals, that we knew what was going on, but we did not until we heard all the numbers, and it was staggering. We have to educate not only our children at our age, but our grandchildren especially, because it's one thing to place your animals that you have today, but it's another thing to make sure that the next generations know that the spay and neuter is so important.
Education will be a cornerstone of the Friends of the Animals Pet Education and Adoption Center. Programs and classes will include pet parenting, obedience, pet health, even pet grief counseling. The center will also take programs into schools. And what about the center itself? All of those things you see will be extraordinary and will eventually include a fenced dog park and dog walking trails.
When you first see the facility, it's going to be very pretty and fit into the surroundings where we're going to be located. But state of the art is also a lot of things that you don't see. Behind the scenes, we'll have the best disease management that we can to care for the animals. That means air and heating systems that are unique and individual for the dog groups, for the cat population groups, for isolation, for quarantine, for people, and a facility that's going to last the test of time.
It'll be a true public place, providing space for gatherings, receptions, and programs.
This is where people want to come just to see the dogs, just to play with the cats, because of course we're going to have a need for volunteers, so we want people to come and feel like this is their community center. This is our adoption center.
But none of this can happen without you.
There's no way that somebody can build this facility by themselves, and this has taken a huge amount of effort from everybody's part. I think we've been working on this for 5 years now. Now is the time for the community to get involved and help us and see this thing through, and then see the finished product.
You know the need, and we're almost there. This is the time to get involved in an effort that will have an enormous impact here in our community and beyond.
Their leadership at the Friends of the Animals is very strong. It has statewide ties. There's been recognition and participation in legislative issues, which is extremely important. So they have a real broad focus on what their goals are, and we just see tremendous things in the future for them.
Mahatma Gandhi said, "The greatness of a nation and its moral progress can be judged by the way its animals are treated." Right now, they trust us to do the right thing.
I rescued my first cat when I was 8 years old, and she was a great friend for the next 18 years. It just kills me to think that 2.7 million cats and dogs are euthanized in shelters every year because they can't find loving forever homes. We have to speak for them because they can't speak for themselves. We have to be their voice.